So first of all, there are three things that we'll start. Number one, combust. What is combustion? Then what is Gandant and what is Badhak? These are simple concepts. So number one, what is combustion? So when a planet becomes invisible to the naked eye, technically no planet becomes combust in the sky, okay, in the solar system. But when since like I discussed before in the first lesson, that everything when we are constructing a horoscope, everything is taken from a geocentric point of view because we are living on earth, our lives are on earth. So from the perspective of earth, we look at the positions of the stars and positions of the planets moving around us. So when the planet becomes invisible to the naked eye, when we see it from the earth, due to conjunction with the sun, means it is very close to the sun from the perspective of earth, it is known as heliacal setting. Helio means sun, so heliacal setting of a planet, then it is termed as being combust. This is the simple definition. So there are various longitudinal distances which makes particular planet combust. Means whenever, like, the difference, the degrees are different. Like for moon it is 12 degrees, means when moon is near to the sun at 12 degrees, between 12 degrees, then it becomes combust. For Mars it is 17, Mercury 14, Jupiter 11, Venus 10, Saturn 15. Now any planet is considered to be fully combust if it is within 5 degrees of the sun. ठीक. So whenever sun is in conjunction with any planet in the chart, you have to look at it closely because it can become combust in the horoscope. And there are different degrees, like I mentioned here, which for a particular planet makes a particular planet at a proper degree combust when it is near to sun or in conjunction with the sun. Sometimes it happens that uh, the planets are in different houses, like sun is in first house, and like for example Jupiter is in 12th house, but they are very close to each other in terms of degrees. Like sun is in the initial degree like 1 degree, or Jupiter is at 29 degrees in 12th house. So even though the houses are different, but still you will consider Jupiter as combust because it is very close to sun, very near to sun. Only 2 degree gap is there, 3 degree gap is there. So it means that whenever a particular planet has to be checked, even though it is not sitting in conjunction with sun, but because of very close proximity, even though they are in different houses, you have to see that it will be considered combust. So this is the meaning of combustion. And understand on a practical scale, when you are looking at the chart, I have mentioned the degrees as per classics, that what are taken for a particular planet, that astronomically and as per classic aspects, we take these particular degrees. Whenever you will construct a horoscope in a software will calculate combustion according to these degree differences all the time. But when we look at a practical aspect, that I am checking a horoscope of a particular person, then I have to consider the degree difference of more than 5 degrees. Any planet, no matter what, if any planet is within 5 degrees from the sun, it will be closely combust, means it will lose its significations. It will create disruptions in the areas which it governs in the chart. But if it is, let's suppose, going as far as possible than the 5 degree difference, it means that it will still have capability and strength to function. It will not be totally burnt by sun. So combustion means sun is pure fire. If you are going to go near fire, you will be burnt, totally destroyed, burnt to ashes. So that is what happens. So in this case, on a practical scale, when you are looking at a chart, you have to consider the degree of 5 degree difference. More than 5, the more planet will go ahead than 5, the better it will be considered. And the other specific degrees that I have told to you. Yeah, so let's suppose sun and Saturn are in conjunction and they are within 15 degree difference. Like sun is at 10 degrees, Saturn is at 25 degrees. So you will consider that okay, Saturn is combust. Technically yes, but since the degree difference is quite ahead than 5 degrees, Saturn will still have capability to give proper results. So on a practical scale, when we are seeing on a realistic aspect in the horoscope, you will have to consider the 5 degree point, not these specific degrees. Like Mars it is 17, so we can say that yes, Technically 17 is taken, but if we are looking at the chart, we have to consider the 5-degree difference. Next point here is combust planet, how it behaves. So it behaves in a way that it loses its physical significations but not the inherent significations. So physical significations, and that is why it is not a good condition. Like for example, fifth lord is getting combust. So fifth lord, any planet whatever it may be, so fifth house significations like education, relationships, or uh, uh, education and relationships and children. Okay, children. So these aspects are controlled by fifth house. So if fifth lord is getting very much combust, very close to sun, like within 5 degrees, so you will see disruptions in fifth house areas. So material signification means anything that you get in the maya, anything that you have got in the world after being born. So like children, like education, like relationships, they are not there since birth, they are coming afterwards. So materially you are getting them. So planet which is getting combust, being the fifth lord, it is going to lose its material physical significations. So material physical signification means it can create problems, difficulties, losses, challenges, obstacles, delay, any kind of issues in terms of like education, in terms of relationships, in terms of childbirth, whatever it may be. Fifth house is important for fertility. Fertility issues can be seen easily. Any health issues, let's suppose they are happening, health problems, like fifth house is, like I told you, fifth house is important for heart, pancreas, liver, stomach. Any of these problems can be seen. So depending on the position of the chart, planet in the chart, it matters that where the combust planet is creating problems. Then inherent significations won't be lost. So inherent signification means intelligence, learning capability, memory, creativity, arts. This is fifth house also. So these are inherent traits. You are born with intelligence. Intelligence cannot be acquired. Intelligence is hereditary. Intelligence is always, you are genetic. You are always born with it. So the thing here is that whatever you have got, the inherent significations of the planet won't be lost. Like for example, fifth lord is Venus, and Venus is getting combust. So Venus will not lose its significations of fifth house being like creativity, arts, beauty, aesthetic, understanding, all these things. It will be fine, but it can lose its material significations. It can create troubles in relationships, love affairs. Even if either they are not happening, or even if they are happening, then they are not sustaining in the long run. Or it can also show fertility issues, childbirth, because Venus is reproduction. To give you an example, the uh, like I told you that you have always have to judge the traits of that planet, and the natural traits, natural characteristics, like Saturn is important for your bones, muscles, huh? In terms of body, like digestive system. Or Saturn is also important for um, Mars and Saturn. They are important for uh, willpower, dedication, action orientedness, discipline. So if they are getting very much combust, very close to sun, and the Rashi is not that great, so obviously those elements will go down. So ability to sustain, ability to have that relentlessness, dedication, discipline, willpower will go down instead of becoming proper. So that has to be taken into account, that combust planet. That is why it is not considered that great. And if let's suppose good planets, benefic planets are getting combust, then it is not considered favorable. Like first, fifth, ninth lords, they are getting combust, it is bad for us. 10th lord getting combust, not that great. 11th lord, second lord, very closely combust, not that great. So even if let's suppose for forget about the lords, even if the karak tattva, like Venus, I said, for whatever house it rules, it doesn't matter. Like Venus and sun, they are very close, like 1 degree difference, 2 degree difference. So Venus is naturally what? Water. Venus is a watery planet. Moon and Venus are water. Sun is pure fire. So Venus will be like totally burnt to the ground. All water will be evaporated into steam, and it will be completely dry. So all the things like Venus governs, they are going to be afflicted and damaged. So like the karak tattva I am mentioning, so Venus is important for sukha, happiness, peace, satisfaction. Moon and Venus, it can give you material assets, I'm not talking about that, but it can, if let's suppose the other combinations are fine, but if karak tattva is also going to be damaged, that you also have to check. Like Venus, important for marriage and relationship. Sun Venus conjunction not that great ever. We have to look at it very closely. So if it is too much combust, it is going to create disruption, destruction in marriage or family or relationships or love affairs or happiness and peace of mind. Emotional satisfaction won't be there. So that has to be checked. So karak tattva also has to be checked. So like for example, I told about Saturn, the karak. Saturn is the karak of those things. Similarly, Venus is karak of those things. Moon is your peace of mind. Moon is your emotions, feelings. If moon is in an enemy sign with sun totally getting combust, it can show anger issues, impulsiveness, impatient attitude, dramatic behavior, not able to take proper decisions, and troubles to the mother, or with the mother can be seen, and confusion, dilemma, distractions, attention issues that can be seen, and high ego can be seen because sun and moon will be like sun is ego, power, and authority. So unnecessary stupid ego, people who are narcissist, who have nothing to offer, like they it's like without any accomplishments you are having ego. I'm talking about that. So that kind of thing. So understand that the karak tattva, like I already told you, the karak tattva of the planets. So karak tattva can lose the significations, and the lordships, the house lords, they are governing some particular house. So the things related to that house will also lose the significations. The extent of damage will be seen how close it is to sun, how close it is to sun, and second, the dasha patterns. Like we also see the dashas. So Gandanta simple means a transition point. So transition means when a particular planet is passing from one Rashi to another, entering from leaving one Rashi and entering into another Rashi, or leaving one nakshatra and entering into another nakshatra. So there are these particular points of transition from one sign to another and from one nakshatra to another. These are known as Gandant points. So Gandant is simple transition situation or points of planets. Now, as I have already told you before, that Gandant degrees are between 0 to 1 degree. If planet is between 0 to 1 degrees, particularly 0 degrees to 0 degree 30 minutes. Entire 0 to 1 degree is considered Gandanta situation, and the last 1 degree. So initial one and last one. So 29 to 30 degrees, any planet is there, we will consider it as Gandant. If it is between 0 to 1, we'll consider it as Gandant. But the initial 30 minutes and the ending 30 minutes become the particular strong position for Gandant. So if planet is between 0 to 030 and 2930 to 30 degrees, then it is specifically in full Gandanta situation, complete Gandanta situation. So Gandant planet means it will give results from two houses. So where it is sitting, like a planet is, let's suppose it is between 0 to 1 degree, 0 to 030, sitting in 10th house. So it means that it has just entered the 10th house from the 9th. So it will give results from the 10th because it is sitting there, but it will also give results partially of the 9th house because it has just entered from 9th. So two houses will be covered, 9th house and 10th house. And similarly, if the degree is very high, so if a planet is in 10th, but at 2930 degrees or 2940 degrees, so it will give partial results of 11th also, the house next to it, because it is completing this sign of 10th house and moving into the next sign of 11th house. So do not confuse. Gandant does not mean that the planet is going to give complete results of the next house or the previous house. It will give partial results only. You will always have to check the house where it is. So no matter if even if it is in an initial degree, ending degrees, but the 10th, like in this example, if a planet is in 10th, 100% results of 10th will be seen. Partial result from previous or next house can be seen depending on the degree placement. Generally, we don't consider Gandant planet strong, okay, but it is not always the case. So there are two situations. where the Gandant planet can become powerful also. First, if it is very close to Lagna degrees. Hmm? So, like Lagna is 1 degrees, and any planet is sitting between 0 to 1 degrees. So it means that even if it is in Gandant, it is very close to Lagna degrees, ascendant degrees. So we will consider it as powerful. Hmm? We will not consider it as weak. And similarly, if it has a strong Shadbala, what is Shadbal? You talk about that later. But Shadbal means the strength of a particular graha, planet. According to there are many bulls we check there. We will talk about Shadbal in detail later. But if it has very powerful, strong Shadbala, then also it is considered strong. Or if it is very close to Lagna degrees, then also it is considered strong. You don't have to judge blindly that any planet is in Gandanta, it will always be weak. So you have to check these two things. If the Shadbal is powerful and if Lagna degree are close, either of them, any of them, then it will have potential to give results. But remember, the Lagna must be powerful, because like I have repeated many times before, all the planets derive strength from the ascendant and the ascendant lord. If the Lagna is not that great, not that powerful, even if planets are strong in Shadbala or whatever, they don't have that capacity to give proper results up to their full potential. Next, there is another Gandanta, that is Nakshatra Gandanta. So this what I explained right now is Rashi Gandant. Nakshatra means 27 nakshatras are there. Any planet which is in a particular nakshatra moving into another nakshatra, just another one, above or means ahead or behind. So the same thing goes for nakshatra also. Hmm? And in nakshatra Gandanta, it can happen at any particular degrees, between any nakshatra points. But there are specific 3 main Gandanta points in entire nakshatra scheme. One is between Revati to Ashwini, means Pisces to Aries. So if any planet is in Revati and moving into Ashwini, so these are main Gandanta points in the nakshatra scheme, because here fire and water are exchanging. So Revati is water, Pisces, and Ashwini is the first nakshatra, fire. That is one. Second is Ashlesha to Magha. So Ashlesha to Magha, Ashlesha is again water, Magha is fire. And then third one is Jeshtha and Mula. So Jeshtha and Mula is Scorpio and Sagittarius. So these are 3 particular Gandanta points in the nakshatra scheme, but it can happen for any particular nakshatra placement of any particular planet in that nakshatra. So if a particular planet is sitting in one nakshatra and you see that it is entering into another nakshatra or just left the previous nakshatra, so it has potential to give results of the previous or ahead nakshatra also, but majority results will be seen of that nakshatra only. Okay, so this is Nakshatra Gandant and the Rashi Gandant. Simple meaning is transition position. How they are checked, that is that I have told to you. And next, to give you one example, one of the best example of this is Donald Trump. So see here, in his case, like if you see, his Lagna Lord is Sun and it is in Gandanta, 2949, very high. So people will say that his Sun is weak, but this Sun is not weak. Although it is Lagna Lord and it is very far away from the Lagna degrees. Lagna is 655, Sun is 2949, complete Gandant. So it will give results from 10th, partial results from 11th. But why Sun is not weak? Because it has very high Shadbala, 1.6, excellent Shadbala. So if you see in detail this, so Sun, remember, इधर आ जाएगा. Now see, Sun requires minimum points for Sun is 390 in Shadbal table. So minimum points are 390. If anybody's Sun is below 390 points, we check. See, there are 6 points: Sthan bal, Dig bal, Kal bal, Chest bal, Naisargik bal, Dirg bal. What they are, we will discuss later when we talk about Shadbal. But how they are calculated, that is all different. What I am mentioning here is that every particular planet has a minimum value If they are below that, then their Shadbal is weak. So sun here is minimum point for sun is 390, 390, 6.5 rupees. So 390. Here his sun has total 625 points, much greater than 390, 1.6 times greater than 390. So sun has the highest Shadbala among all planets. Just see, among all planets, sun has the highest Shadbala, and 625 is a really great number, very rare to find, very very rare. So 1.6 is not that easy to gain. Any planet, very difficult. So in his case, Lagna Lord, Sun, all is although in Gandant, complete Gandant, but it has full power, and it is not close to Lagna degree, but it has a strong Shadbal, very powerful Shadbal. That is why Sun and Rahu are functioning fine, and he became president and everything in Rahu Dasha only. So Rahu Mahadasha is going to give results of Sun also, because Sun and Rahu are in conjunction. So any planet which is going to run in Dasha, it will give the results of the planets with whom it is in conjunction. So Sun, Rahu and Sun are together. So he became president in Rahu Mars Dasha only. So Rahu Mars Dasha ending period in 2016, for the first time he became president. So sun is, and without sun you cannot be in power, authority. Forget about being politics. So here, this is a classic example where despite sun being Lagna Lord is very powerful, even though it is in Gandanta. Okay. And I think similarly, Narendra Modi also has the same thing. In his case, the degrees are very less. So this is one example. Another in his case is like Saturn is also in Gandanta, like 0 degree 43 minutes. But Saturn is not that great. Although Saturn has power, because it is in Pushkaramsha, Vargottam, all those things. But his seventh association in Saturn is not that great. So like 7th house is marriage. Many marriages all failed, many relationships all failed. Emotional connection 0, not able to understand. He is not that scrupulous person. Immorality is there in him a lot. So Saturn's element is not that great. Even though he was a successful businessman, but he went bankrupt many times and inflated figures. He botched his figures many times to be in Forbes rich list. So what is happening? Saturn not that great. So the Saturn's areas are affected, but sun powerful. So that is one. This was the example. Now we'll talk about the next. What is Badhak? Badhak means Badhak means obstacle. Badha. So Badhak means a planet, the one which creates obstacles for you, which has potential to create obstacles for you. So for different lagnas, different planets become Badhak. So for movable lagnas, movable rashis, if your ascendant is Aries, Cancer, Libra and Capricorn, then 11th Lord will become the Badhak for you. For fixed lagnas, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, the 9th Lord will become Badhak. And for dual signs, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, 7th Lord will become Badhak. So Badhakesh means the planet which is the respective Lord in particular lagnas becomes the carrier for obstacles in your life. So understand that Badhak can only be creating problems if it is associated with malefics. Okay, if it is associated with malefics and it is making malefic yogas in the chart. So let's suppose Badhak is associated with 6th, 8th, 12th lords, or making any dosha with Rahu, Ketu, Mangal, Shani, and they are becoming malefics, not well placed in the Rashi, then Badhak will have full potential to create troubles for you. So not always. You have to see there is a condition that Badhak will only create Badha if it is entering in association with malefics. Otherwise not. So So like for example, seventh house is important for marriage and business and partnerships, your social image, public image, all these things. So for all dual signs, seventh house become Badhak. So it means that for all people who are born in dual signs, dual lagnas, so their marriage will be delayed. They will see tremendous problems in marriage or business or partnership. Not like that. It does not work that way. You have to see that if the seventh lord, because it is Badhak, if it is entering in like sixth house, eighth house, 12th house, and it is making malefic yogas with functional malefics or natural malefics, it is getting combust or retrograde, huh? Or in deep papa kartri yoga, then it means that it has capability to create badha in that domain. Okay. So and it can create badha where, first of all, related to the house it controls, and second, where it is sitting, the house where it is sitting. So there is this is what badhak means. But like I mentioned, the condition has to be remembered that badhak can only function negatively if it is associated with malefics and making dosha in the chart, otherwise not.